Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hey, today we are making black bean burgers from scratch. So here, first we have the black beans, and they've been drained as much as possible. I didn't really drain them as good as I could, but they've been drained. And then we have breadcrumbs. I do Italian style breadcrumbs because they're good. And then we have one egg. I have garlic salt and everything bagel seasoning. I really love everything bagel seasoning, so I just kind of put it on everything. I know it's weird. And then we have oregano. And then we have our jalapeno peppers. I really like to add jalapeno peppers and mozzarella, of course. I really like to add jalapeno peppers to my black bean burgers because it gives a nice little spice, more than salt at the end. And so I don't really have any particular order in which I put the ingredients in, but I just throw things in and I kind of, cook as I go or add things as I go. So I start off with a little less. First I do the egg. And then I start off with a little bit less of the breadcrumbs and then add as I go because I wanted to get a nice paste consistency, like kind of like a cookie, like a cookie kind of consistency in order for us to be able to pat it together and then sit it down. You'll see a little later on. So right now I'm just adding my ingredients. Now, the reason why I chose black bean burgers for today is because I wanted to do something a little more vegetarian, a little easier because I know some people don't necessarily eat meat, and that's perfectly okay because I love different types of things. This recipe can also be vegan. You can skip the egg, and some people use, to make it stick together, some people use a little bit of milk. I've heard that works. This is way too much salt, so I'm just going to put it on the side. Over here on my cutting board. And those next to on the cutting board are potatoes because I'm going to make mashed potatoes after this. So I just stepped away for a second to grab something. But yeah. So what I start to do, I have the masher. Some people mash the beans before, and honestly, it's a perfect thing to do to mash them before. I'm not against it. I just totally forgot to do it, so I'm just going to mash it afterwards. And sometimes it lets the ingredients kind of sit a little bit better when you mash the ingredients in with the beans. So, again, I was saying the reason why I chose to do black beans is because sometimes I get tired of eating meat and I want to do something different. And I used to be a huge, huge, huge fan of the Morningstar black bean burgers. See, I'm adding more breadcrumbs to get a better consistency. But like I was saying, I used to be a big fan of Morningstar black bean burgers, and I still am, don't get me wrong, not 100%, I still love Morningstar, but I like to make my own things because I like to put in my own ingredients as I go instead of just, the ingredients that they give you and everything, how it's all set to go for you. I like to do it, and it's also fun to get your hands dirty, and this recipe doesn't take very long. So it's still like not consistent enough. So what I'm going to do is probably add more breadcrumbs to make the consistency a little bit better. And I'm going to add my cheese in. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Adding the cheese in will help with the consistency as well as make the burgers a little cheesier. Like I said, this recipe can be vegan. You can totally not put the cheese in. You don't have to put the cheese, or you can do vegan cheese. That's fine. That's perfectly fine too. The vegan cheese I usually use if I want to do something vegan, like when I make my vegan lasagna, I choose a Dahlia, I think it's called. See, that consistency is not good enough because they'll fall apart, and you don't want them to fall apart because it's a burger. You want it to stick together. So I add a little more breadcrumbs, and please forgive me, guys. I'm not really good at measuring. So the consistency has gotten a little bit better now, and that's something that I want because I want to be able to have them stick together. So it's going to be like a burger, like a patty. And you can do this one or two ways. You can put it on the stove, like on the stovetop, or you can put them in the oven. I'm choosing to put mine in the oven because I like the way they hold a little bit better when you put them in the oven. So adding a little more breadcrumbs, and I think this should be good because as I'm moving the ingredients around, I'm feeling that it's a little more sticky and a little less like, separated. So right now I'm just washing my hands real quick and washing my hands real quick. And then Once I wash my hands, after that, I'm going to start to add in my jalapenos. And I like to do the jalapenos last because they do have some kind of water in it. So if I need to add more breadcrumbs, I can. So after washing my hands, open up the jalapenos and then start to put some into the mixture. And so I can mix the jalapenos around, continue to put them in the mixture as I go. If I feel like I need more, I'll probably put some more in too. So I'm moving the jalapenos around with my hands. Honestly, I wish I would have added a little more because I was nervous because I'm not only making this for myself, I'm making it for someone else. So I wanted to, I didn't want to add too much spice to it because, sometimes some people don't like a whole lot of spice. But so I put some in and then I added a little bit more after that. And I still like the way it turned out. It turned out pretty good overall. So got that done. And then more cheese because I like cheese. I know you shouldn't eat a whole lot of cheese. I know it's not that great for you, but I love cheese. So yeah. And now I'm adding a couple more jalapenos. Bloop. Yay. So I added my jalapenos and then now I'm going to mix it up as much as I can. Get it together. And that'll be that. The reason why I chose this recipe is because the last two recipes I did had meat in it, and I wanted to show people that you can make good vegetarian stuff if you're doing a lot of people do meatless Mondays, and you can make some good vegetarian stuff like on a meatless Monday and have a black bean burger versus having a regular burger. And at one point in my life, I went vegetarian for a year, and I started on transition foods like Morningstar, and then started to do them on my own, which the recipes aren't that hard. They don't take that long, and it ended up working out to where you can add what you want and take away what you don't want by doing it yourself. So that's what I'm doing. I'm patting them together, making them kind of look like burgers. They're not perfect, but they actually turned out really good. So I was really happy about them. So got that out of the way. Nice, good patties. And now I'm going to pop them in the oven for 350 degrees, right? So I got the last one. Boom. Awesome. Great. Hands all dirty. Rewash my hands again. Yay. So now after I rewash my hands, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how I cut up the potatoes to make the mashed potatoes. Now, mashed potatoes are super easy to make. People don't get intimidated by making them. They're super easy. They're not hard at all. Just don't get intimidated. It's so easy. So right now, all I have is my water here. Isn't that a cute little pan? I found that at Ross. Super cute, right? Or whatever they call those things. I have to get myself a knife because I totally forgot. So I'm in the dishwasher trying to grab a knife real quick. Knife, yay. And then I just cut the potatoes up. Now I don't have to cut them up any kind of fancy way because they're gonna be mashed anyway. So it's not really that big of a deal how you cut them up. So just cut them up, make sure they're small enough to fit. I wouldn't leave them really big because it might take them a little longer to cook down. But so while I'm cutting the potatoes, I'm gonna tell you how I usually do it. I will let the potatoes boil for 10 to 15 minutes. When they start getting soft, that's when I take them off. And then when I take them off, that's when I put in the ingredients for the mashed potatoes, like the milk, the garlic salt, the garlic, the pepper, and all that stuff. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that in a minute. After I put all these potatoes in, I'm cutting up the last one here. So boom, boom, and plop. Oh, that's pretty gross, but okay. So that's it for that. Okay, so my mashed potatoes are done. Nice, steamy potatoes. So I put some pepper in there, and that's butter, the thing I'm dropping. Those little cubes, that's butter, the thing I'm dropping in there. I put some pepper at the bottom. I guess I didn't put that in the video. My masher, it's my favorite thing ever. I love to mash things. Anyways, so I'm mashing it with the butter. Some people don't do that. Some people mash it first, but I like to mash it with the butter to let the butter kind of melt inside the potatoes and make it, taste a little bit better. So got the butter, and I put my masher down, and I don't mash a whole lot because I don't need to. Then I got my Morton salt, and I don't put a whole lot of salt because I'm not big on salt. I'm trying to be little on my sodium intake. Then I got my garlic salt here, boom, and then I go a little bit on my garlic salt. I don't go too, heavy on my garlic salt. So I go a little bit on my garlic salt, and then that's that. And then garlic, just regular garlic without salt. Oh, I go ham on that, like boom, regular garlic. And 365 is such a good brand. It's super cheap. No, I am not. This video has nothing to do with Whole Foods. I'm not affiliated with Whole Foods. Here's my almond milk. Not affiliated with Whole Foods at all. This is just a brand I love because, one, it's cheap and it's still mostly organic. Oh, my mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to throw that in there. Boom. So, like I said, I'm not affiliated with 365 at all. No way, shape, or form am I affiliated with them. However, their stuff is so good and it's so cheap and it's just totally worth it. Now, I'm just whisking the potatoes together with like this little thingy. And you don't have to do anything fancy with it. Just stir it, and then it'll start to fluff up. They'll start to fluff up because of the milk and the butter and, all the ingredients and stuff. And it doesn't take very long. It takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes for it to start really fluffing up. And then you have some really solid potatoes there, and it looks fantastic. So I'm just mixing and turning up my potatoes. And then it's a nice little side dish, and it's super, super quick to make. And don't get intimidated. Like I said, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. See, don't they look so good? Yes. So yay. And so those are my potatoes. And that's pretty much it. And I didn't take a picture of it, but my consistency for my black bean burgers turned out fantastic. So I just ate one of them, and then I put the rest in the fridge for another day. And the potatoes turned out awesome. They could have used a little bit more garlic, so I would say go a little heavy. But that's it. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. And share and subscribe. Love you.